Once there lived a young student at one Marion Square in Dublin. He sat beneath the heavy branches of an ancient oak, his head filled with the cold logic of dusty libraries. If only I had one red rose, he whispered to the grass, my life would be a fairy tale, and the girl would be mine. He did not see the small bird watching him from the leaves, listening to a sorrow she thought was the holiest thing on earth. While the student wept, the frozen garden stood unmoved. The field mice hid beneath the roots, shivering in the frost, and the bitter wind hissed through the bare branches, mocking his tears, asking why any sane man would cry for a common flower. But the nightingale understood the secret of his silent agony. She saw a soul yearning for something more than mere facts. She decided then that if love required a miracle, she would be the one to provide it, no matter the cost. The professor's beautiful daughter set a condition for the boy. She promised to dance with him at the party tomorrow night, if only he could bring her a single red rose. But it was her way of saying no, a polite rejection he couldn't see. Where can the poor boy find such a flower when everything is frozen in this cold, bitter winter? The nightingale flew to the white rose bush, begging for a single crimson bud. But the winter had frozen its roots, and the storm had broken its spirit. There is a way, the bush whispered, but it is a terrible price. You must build it out of music by moonlight, and stain it with the silver lifeblood of your own breast. The nightingale looked at the stars and chose the thorn, believing the heart of a man was worth more than her own. All night long she pressed her throat against the sharp spike. The colder the night grew, the deeper the thorn pierced, until her song of joy turned into a final gasping cry. As the life ebbed out of her, a marvelous rose began to bloom, bitterly cold at the petals, but burning red at its core. She died with a high note, thinking she had saved a world, while the rose glowed in the dark, born from a silent murder. The professor's beautiful daughter set a condition for the boy. She promised to dance with him at the party tomorrow night, if only he could bring her a single red rose. But it was her way of saying no, a polite rejection he couldn't see. Where can the poor boy find such a flower when everything is frozen in this cold, bitter winter? At dawn, the student opened his window and shouted with luck. He plucked the flower, never noticing the small brown body in the grass. He ran to the girl, but she looked at the rose and frowned. Without a second thought, she chose the jewels of a wealthy merchant. He realized then that love was a direct path to disappointment, and a logical waste of time for a man of his intellect. The professor's beautiful daughter set a condition for the boy. She promised to dance with him at the party tomorrow night, if only he could bring her a single red rose. But it was her way of saying no, a polite rejection he couldn't see. Where can the poor boy find such a flower, when everything is frozen in this cold, bitter winter? He threw the rose into the gutter, where a heavy wheel crushed it. What a silly thing love is, he muttered, returning to his books. The lights went out at 1 Marion Square. The logic of the indifferent world remained unbroken, and the Nightingale song was buried under the dust of the street.